In 1492, Columbus sailed the ocean blue. It was a courageous thing to do, but someone was already here. In 1492, Columbus sailed the ocean blue. It was a courageous thing to do, but someone was already here. The Inuit and Cherokee, the Aztec and Menominee, Onondaga and the Cree. Columbus sailed across the sea, but someone was already here.
Christopher Columbus was a warlord and a white supremacist. The murder by his hands and genocide, at his word, are permanently mummified in cloth by Titus Kaphar. The only people we are able to see as humans are the Native Americans in the background. With the systemic slaughter of literally countless Native Americans, the pathway and methods for the creation of this great nation were in place.
Welcome to the United Snakes, land of the thief, home of the slave. Grand Imperial Guard where the dollar is sacred and proud. Let's do the shit for real, come on now. Smoke and mirrors, stripes and stars, stoning for the cross in the name of God. Bloodshed, genocide, rape and fraud, written to the pages of the law, good Lord.
In 1452, the Holy Pope penned the Doctrine of Discovery, which commands devout Christians to, quote, invade, search out, capture, and subjugate the saccharins and pagans and any other unbelievers and enemies of Christ, wherever they may be, as well as their kingdoms, duchies, counties, principalities, and any other property. This doctrine was Andrew Jackson's basis for the eviction or slaughter of nearly every Native American in the southeast United States. You can look it up. Separation of church and state? I don't think so.
Home of the slave, the Grand Imperial Guard where the dollar is sacred.
In this painting, Titus Kaphar has represented a famous portrait of Andrew Jackson in a new light. Like the original, painted in 1833, Kaphar's painting is done in oil. The painting's title, The Cost of Removal, refers to the Indian Removal Act of 1830, sanctioning the physical and psychological trauma that was the Trail of Tears. However, most strikingly are the strips of cloth nailed into Jackson's mouth. Like the Native Americans were forced from their homes, the nails have been forced into his mouth, as if to let his actions speak for him, not the words of history. The nails protrude sharply and are in stark contrast to the beautiful, smooth style of the oil painting. Just as the painful truth of history may be more difficult to digest than the glorified pictures of the past painted by America.
Every summer, it drew thousands seeking relief from Washington, D.C.'s swampy heat.
These falsely glorified pictures extend as high as our most prestigious institutions. This oil portrait, framed in gold, is of a young boy enslaved by the founder of Yale. Entitled Enough About You, it is based on a portrait which until recently hung in the halls of Yale. It draws our attention to what was truly historically significant about the portrait in the first place. Crumpled to its side lies the original portrait, which once showed the headmaster with his boy prisoner in the background. The boy's critical gaze seems to ask us to examine the very institutions that educate us in order to understand that even they are often complicit. They themselves can exist as systems which dominate our psyche. Why is that? Because
only approved questions get answered. Now stand your ass up for that national anthem. Welcome to the United Snakes.
History is written by those who dominate it. It is written. History is created. History is a bedtime story, which is taught, which can be wrong or misleading or simple. The past is a series of truths which history often works to obscure. History is but a depiction of the past. In these pieces, Kaphar redepicts the historically familiar and grand format of the oil painting, often by mutilating it to represent historical facts in a way that visually reveals ignored or hidden or lost truths about some of our most revered figures. a knowledge of history, complete and accurate knowledge, it is possible to understand and dismantle the laws, systems, and institutions which control where power lies. And if we recognize the injustices of the past and see how they continue to manifest in the present, it is impossible to believe that this is a country of liberty, so we must fight to make it one.